Is this on? Aha. Good morning, friends. Welcome to worship with the Universalist Unitarian Church of Peoria. My name is Regina Stanley, and I have the great privilege of being the membership coordinator for this beloved congregation. Our service today presents principles that we can use to create positive change, which is very important right now. Here at the UU Church, we strive to live out our mission, to embrace freedom, love inclusively, grow in mind, body, and spirit, and to help heal our world. We want to pause to recognize and respect the peoples of the Peoria Nation, whose ancestors welcomed and assisted the first Europeans to visit this place, the Peoria's traditional homeland, the very ground upon which we gather this morning. Thank you for joining us in person and online. It is an act of courage to seek connection and larger purpose in this age. We welcome you. If you are new, please help us get to know you. Stay for visiting in the Zoom room after service, or if you're in person, we'll have coffee, connection, and refreshments in Fellowship Hall. Everyone is welcome to join us for that. Today's worship is for all ages. All of us are welcome here in whatever way it is that we arrive. If your littles need more space, we have a rug to crawl or play on near the organ. Nope, I'm sorry, we have moved it over here. We also have some spaces for the littles up front with some activities and a comfy pillow. They are welcome to join up front also. A few announcements. Today, after service, about 12:15, we were staying on the patio, but the way it's looking right now, I think we'll probably have to be in the foyer. But we'll have the Haunted Forest Planning Meeting. It'll be the first meeting. The Haunted Forest is a huge fundraiser for our church. It is a great time, but we need a lot of people involved. So if you have any ideas or you want to help out in any way, join for this planning meeting after service. We also will have Mahjong today from 1 to 3 in Fellowship Hall. If you've never played Mahjong, they are happy to teach you, so feel free to drop in for that. Let's see, we also today after service, we have a lot going on after service. In the conference room at noon after service is storytelling for social change. Childcare will be provided. In this series, we'll learn more about ourselves, our personal history, and how to use personal storytelling to bridge divided communities by creating a platform for empathy. The facilitator for that is Nicholas Hall, who is involved in community organizing, and you can see him for more information or join in the conference room after service. We also, this Tuesday is a park day for the kiddos at Lakeview Park Playground, 3:45 to 5:15. That will be a fun time also. Now, today, don't forget to silence your phones too. In place of our opening hymn, please rise in body or spirit as you're able and prepare to join us in singing Sacred Circle.
I will open my heart and
Now I'd like to invite Dave Grebner up for our opening words.
Here is a quote from 1934 from Robinson Jeffers. "I believe the universe is one being. All its parts are different expressions of the same energy, and they are all in communication with each other. Therefore, parts of one organic whole."
And now I'd invite Kathy McNeil up for our chalice lighting.
The Task of the Religious Community by Mark Morrison Reed. The central task of the religious community is to unveil the bonds that bind each to all. There is a connectedness, a relationship discovered amid the particulars of our own lives and the lives of others. Once felt, it inspires us to act for justice. It is the church that assures us we are not struggling for justice on our own, but as members of a larger community. The religious community is essential, for alone our vision is too narrow to see all that must be seen, and our strength too limited to do all that must be done. Together, our vision widens and our strength is renewed.
Let us take a moment to acknowledge our gratitude for this church. One of the ways we express that gratitude is through our offering. With our gifts freely given, may we say yes to the values of our faith. May our offering help us practice Unitarian Universalism within and beyond our congregation as tools to empower our mission to embrace freedom, love inclusively, grow in mind, body, and spirit, and help to heal the world. It is our practice to give away some of our gifts to help others. We share 1/2 of the non-pledge offering with another group each month. August Share the Plate is Hope Renewed Youth Conference. You can see the order of worship for more information about this organization. Half of our undesignated offering will go to them. Please indicate if your offering is part of your pledge also. That helps us keep track of all of our gifts. The ushers will pass the plates, and Kathy will play the music for meditation. After the plates have gone by, and I light the first candles, all are welcome to light candles of care. These candles we light because we all have joys and sorrows, names and milestones in our hearts within the embrace of the whole church. Will the ushers please come forward? Bring the joys and sorrows of the congregation. We offer our condolences to Charity Kennedy and her family for the death of her biological father, Daniel Schaefer, on August 6th. His funeral will be in McAllister, Oklahoma on August 11th. We send care and support to all who knew him and loved him. We also send prayers and healing energies for Joe Lakota's granddaughter, Gabrielle. She's a 22-year-old college student who was headed to work in DeKalb when she was struck broadside by a utility vehicle. She is in critical condition with head injuries and body lacerations. She has been put into an induced coma. Joe says that the family is heartbroken but hopeful. Let's take another moment of quiet to reflect on the unspoken joys and sorrows, names and milestones that remain in our hearts. Please breathe with me. Amen, salam, and blessed be. Now I'd like to invite Tony Huerta up for the next portion of our service. Sorry, we are going to send the children out now. I apologize. If you would all please sing with me, and we will send them out with their
Parents are free to decide where your family would like to participate this morning. Littles are encouraged to join me in religious education.
They were having such fun on the pillows. Good morning, everybody. In a moment, we will begin the teaching portion of today's service by declaring sacred space. Some, if not many, here have seen this performed at previous services. In case there are any here with us today who may be unfamiliar with this, I'm going to offer a description before we begin. Typically, this process begins with what we call the casting of a circle. It is an act that signifies the setting apart of a bit of space from mundane daily activity and dedicates it to a spiritual purpose for as long as that circle is present. Being here today in this sanctuary relieves us of this need, as this room serves as a permanent dedicated space for worship. And unless I have missed it, I have yet to witness anybody folding their laundry or cooking any tuna melts in here. So we'll begin by calling the four quarters and inviting into this space certain aspects that are represented by the elements of air, fire, water, and earth. If you wish to follow along, you can find these words in the Singing the Living Tradition hymnal. It is titled number 446. It is To the Four Directions and written by Joan Goodwin. As each call is made, we will end the words with, "We welcome you." I invite all to echo back in response, "We welcome you." After that, we will ask for the presence of the divine feminine, which we choose to call goddess, divine masculine, which we choose to call God, and divine other, known to us as the revealer. We will also extend a loving invitation for our ancestors to join us in our worship. I ask everybody once again to take a quick pause to breathe, and we'll begin. Spirit of the East, spirit of air, of morning and of springtime, be with us as the sun rises, in the times of beginning, the times of planting. Inspire us with the fresh breath of courage as we go forth into new adventures. We welcome you. Spirit of the South, spirit of fire, of noontime and summer, be with us through the heat of day and help us to be ever growing. Warm us with strength and energy for the work that awaits us. We welcome you. Spirit of the West, spirit of water, of evening and autumn, be with us as the sun sets and help us to enjoy a rich harvest. Flow through us with a cooling, healing quietness and bring us peace. We welcome you. Spirit of the North, spirit of earth, of springtime and winter, be with us in the darkness, in the time of gestation. We welcome you. By the raising of one hand, I call upon the presence of the Mother Goddess. Born only of herself, from her we proceed, and unto her we will all one day return. Great Mother, be here with us now. By the raising of my other hand, I call upon the presence of the Father God. Lord of the dance of life, it is in following you that we turn the wheel of the year. Divine Father, be with us now. I draw my hands together, and in doing so, these two forces become one, yet are greater than the sum of their parts. Bright revealer, great keeper of those mysteries beyond any name or form or construct of gender, be with us now. I place my hands upon my heart, and I welcome the voices of our ancestors to our worship. Forebearers of our lineages, pioneers of our vocations and personal callings, walk with us, sing with us, share our circle once again. Beloved ones, be with us now. So mote it be. And now, I would like to invite Gary Chatham to deliver today's message.
Thank you, Tony. Good morning. So the world seems to be upside down right now. Things kind of seem to be falling apart, getting rearranged. Shamanism would call it a dismemberment. Things kind of fall down and die and fall to the ground and become fertilizer for something new. So the question is, what do we want to create? What positive things do we want to do? Where do we want to put? Am I getting a little bit of feedback? No? Okay. What do we want to create? And put our positive energy towards what we want. So, I'm Gary. How did I come to write these principles? My life's purpose is to make a positive difference with everything that I do. And I have 2 years of training in Celtic shamanism, and I'm a shamanic practitioner and shamanic teacher. Celtic shamanism means that the teachings are from the pre-Christian traditions of England and Ireland. And my family ancestry is English, Irish, and German, so I say not much. But The principles I'll talk about today were common in many countries and were basically universal across all continents without those people having any contact with each other, which is very interesting. So I feel that Spirit directly inspired me to write this material with the goal to encourage everyone here in our church and to create positive change in Peoria and beyond. So I call them New Horizons. We'll get to that in a second. The New Horizons principles are essentially about living in harmony with the earth, living in harmony with all the fellow inhabitants of the earth, if that's human, plant, and animal, and earth, receiving help, healing, and guidance directly from Spirit, building a close community, and creating positive change in our church and in our local area. So, like I already said that. Moving on to the next piece. There's a group called Sacred Design, and they say underpinning the crisis in our world is a crisis of spirit. To turn the tides towards flourishing, we need new ways to address spiritual needs and longing. We need spiritual innovation. So that's a quote from them. So how can we help to heal our world? What do we want to create? So I feel it's time to ask Spirit for help. And like I said, it's time to decide where we want to put our energy towards what we want to create. While it may be tempting to focus on the things that are falling apart right now, systems, relationships, even government things that are falling apart, we need to focus on what we desire to create in our lives and for everyone else and for the community as a whole. What principles can we use to do that? What principles can we use to create change, starting with a smaller individual, more local scale, and then getting bigger? So we have to choose to walk in love, light, unity, and healing. How do we do that on a consistent basis? Okay, so I'm a Gemini, so I'm going to do a little Gemini side note. So side note is back in the 1990s, as Mark and Dave know, there was a group in town called New Horizons that was a spiritual group, and we met in West Peoria. One of the organizers had donated the building, and we had, one or two speakers a month come and talk about all different types of spiritual teachings and holistic health practices. And I think that's where I first met Dave Grebner and his mom, Bernice, 1993 probably. So anyway, I'm just paying homage to that group and calling these principles the New Horizons principles. So they're to foster better connection with ourselves, better connection with Spirit, better connection with the earth, and better connection with each other. So first, I'll just name the principles briefly, and then we can talk about them in more detail. So first, right now, if we want to create change, we need to focus on healing ourselves. So focus on physical, emotional, and spiritual healing for yourself and your family. And that needs to be a priority now, taking care of ourselves as we launch out to do other things. Second principle is realizing that God or Spirit is in the earth and nature, in all things, connecting with Spirit through nature and in other ways such as meditation, realizing that the spark of the divine is in all people. And then the next little principle I took from another group, but it's make a vow that you will be the best lover and protector of the earth and nature that you can be. Connect with the earth herself and nature. Spend time in nature. What is Mother Earth saying to you today? And we'll get into that in a little more detail too. I'm tempted to go forward, but I'll come back. Fifth, like Tony talked about, is honoring your ancestors. Honoring the ancestors of the earth where we live. We always name the Native American peoples that lived here before us, but honoring the ancestors of whatever spiritual traditions we follow, who went before us, and then honoring the ancestors of our own physical family bloodlines. What messages do they have for us today? 6 is creating healthy rites of passage for young people, especially through a connection with the earth. Like I said, I'll get into these in a little more detail in a minute. Honoring and connecting with the living elders in our community. Fostering connections between the elders and the young people. And then this is number 8. That was 7, this is 8. Begin to consciously reimagine and recreate the world with others. What do we want to build that's positive? Number 9 is build a circle, a community, and use these principles as a part of that. Connecting with others on a similar spiritual path, both in and outside the local area, and building a community based on creating positive change. It's okay to dream. So one of the principles of shamanism is dreaming a new world into being. And 10 is more practical, sharing resources and helping each other. So let's go into those in a little more detail. So right now, the first principle is focusing on physical, emotional, and spiritual healing for ourselves and our family now. So I feel Spirit is calling all types of healers into action now. Healers using different modalities for different purposes, for physical, emotional, and spiritual healing. And that's a priority on earth right now because it feels like everything is negative. It feels like everything is falling apart. So Spirit's response is raising up healers. So we can be a part of that. But first, reaching out to others if we need help for ourselves, but just taking care of ourselves and realizing, what we need to fulfill our calling. So we will never be perfectly healed, but if we want to desire to bring healing to others in the earth, then we need to be actively engaged in working on our own healing. And then those ripple effects, if we heal ourselves, we're like drops of water in water, and the ripple effect from that action, our own healing and putting out positive vibes, goes out into the world and affects other people. So as we're more healed, we bring more positive vibes to the whole community. Number 2 is realizing that God or Spirit is in the earth and in nature and in all things, connecting with Spirit through time and nature. So honoring the sacredness in all things. Everything has a spirit, and the spark of the Creator is in all things. So if we believe that Creator created the heavens and the earth, the spark of the Creator is in the heavens and the earth. So modern physics says that things really aren't solid, even though they may appear to be solid. So I may appear to be solid, but there's space between the electrons and the atoms, and it's a cool kind of metaphorical, idea or illustration to think in that space between the atoms, between the particles, is space for Spirit, where Spirit may dwell in us. So everything has a spark of divinity in it. Everything is a part of the divine. How differently would we treat the earth and all the other inhabitants of it, whether they're animal, plant, and even water, air, earth, and human inhabitants, if we believe that everyone is connected, everything was connected to the divine. So not everything is perfect, but it is connected to the divine. Now change that sentence to everyone is not perfect, but is connected to and is not separate from Spirit. Everyone is born a blessing, even though we may have been taught other things. Everyone has the capacity to do good or to do evil, that which is hurtful, obviously. But they still have the spark of Creator in us. How differently would we treat each other if we truly recognize that everyone has the spark of the divine and is connected to Spirit? So that one we can just sit and soak in a second. I'm very connected to one particular tree, and I'm talking about connecting with nature. And my friends know I have a spirit tree up in Chillicothe by the river at Shore Acres Park I'm very connected with. And I send Reiki and loving healing energy to the tree, and I feel energy coming back to me. And I've heard intuitive messages. So there is connection with all the other beings on the earth if we look for that and are open to that. Number 3 is closely related to that, making a vow that you will be the best lover and protector of earth and nature that you can be. That one I took directly from a group called the Order of the Sacred Earth. So you can find them online if you'd like. Since we know that God or Spirit is in the earth and in nature and in all things, the earth and nature is the very source of life on this planet. We can't live without earth and nature. It makes sense that we would work to turn the tide from what's happening to the earth on the planet right now and do everything we can to protect earth and nature. 4th is connected to that, obviously, connecting with earth and nature, spending time in nature. What are you feeling coming from Mother Earth today? What intuitive sense do you get from the Spirit that is in earth and nature? spending time. We're getting thunder, so what's the message with that? Oh, no, I don't think so. It's just time for cooling down. This is very close to the second principle, but different. The second is connection with spirit through the nature, but number 4 is about connecting with the earth herself. So every morning I get up with my kitty cat socks. We go down to the sliding glass door and open the blinds, and we connect with the earth. I greet the elements. So I say, good morning, sky and air, rain and water, sun and fire, ground and rocks and minerals, beautiful animal and plant and insect friends. Thank you for being our earth. So my kitty knows we don't eat until after we open the blinds and greet the earth. So a lot of our challenges as a planet and a society today come from the fact that for centuries, we have been disconnected from the earth. So we have not made that connection, that heart connection of being connected with nature and seeing ourselves as a part of nature and not separate from nature, not separate from the earth. So it takes a little more than the occasional vacation to do that, but finding a simple way that works for you every day to connect with the earth. How could you do that? What does that mean? Number 5 is honoring the ancestors. Our ancestors want us to heal and clear patterns in our lives that no longer serve us. And I often tell my clients that they have help from the other side. They have ancestors cheering them on, that maybe families have had generational patterns that are unhealthy, that are dysfunctional, but their ancestors want them to heal and clear those patterns so those patterns do not continue on to further generations. So they're there. They're there if we connect with them. So like I said, honoring the ancestors of your physical bloodlines, honoring the ancestors of the earth where you live, honoring the ancestors of the spiritual traditions that you follow, connecting with those ancestors. And then this goes back to number 1 of healing things in yourself and in your family. What patterns need to be healed? What could you do if you have some patterns healed or you're working on healing them? And then for you to go out and launch positive change from that. Number 6 is creating healthy rites of passage for young people, especially through a connection with the earth. Teaching people when they're young people, children, their connection with the earth, and honoring them with rites of passage. We don't have many rites of passage for kids except grade school and high school graduation. There really isn't much to honor them and teach them and to give them, recognition and say, you're going to be stepping into your life's purpose. You're going to be stepping into finding your life's calling and celebrating that as a community. We don't celebrate them. They need to know that they have people they can go to when they need someone to talk to or get support from, especially if it's not comfortable for them to talk to their own family. That's where connection with elders or other people in the church or group members, that those connections have already been created and nurtured in advance, come into play. And that has to be a conscious effort. Then 7 is honoring and connecting with the elders in our community, fostering connections between them and the young people, like I just said. In our culture, elders are often ignored. They're put away into nursing homes or assisted living. We have other elders who may not be in nursing homes, but are home alone and generally ignored a lot of times. So while we have created some connections again after COVID, I think COVID made things worse with a lot of those connections being broken and going away. So it may not be possible for elders to live with other family members like in older tribal cultures, but at least we can consciously focus on creating and maintaining connections. So that's another principle. As I find the right page. So from here, we want to consciously decide what do we want to create and consciously imagine in the world with others. What kind of world do we want things to be? So we're not happy with the way things are, obviously, but instead of just resisting, we want to create positive. So deciding as a church, deciding as an individual, deciding as a community, what do we want to have? What do we want to have in place of some of the negativity that we see now? So if you're guided this way, doing a ceremony bringing healing energy into the earth, bringing healing energy into society, holding and creating and meditating on a vision of what we want to create. Like I said, I've been guided to give Reiki to the trees and the rivers and the animals, to be a conduit, to be an open pipe for healing in the earth. And this could be something that we all do in some way every day. On a practical level, maybe for the earth, how much do you recycle? What do you do for the earth on a daily basis? We can also organize cleanup parties, go pick up litter in a certain area, and then have a spiritual gathering and then have a meal together. So on July 13th, as Mark and Priscilla, one of my other friends, knows, there was a Native American river blessing by the Illinois River at Shore Acres Park in Chillicothe, which is my main peaceful power place. The blessing started first with all of us picking up litter along the river. So no ceremony, no spiritual things. We picked up litter, practical taking care of the earth first. Then we did the ceremony, and then we shared a meal afterwards and connected as a community. So I've used that same outline of happenings to create other events. Principle number 9 is building a circle, a community with these principles as part of that. So connecting with others on same or similar paths in or outside of the local area. Connecting with other people to make positive change. Again, not to just fight what we don't want, but what do we want to create? We want something different. How do we want it to be? Connecting with others who are on a conscious and spiritual path is even more important now. And we also need to support each other. Supporting each other on a regular basis and being part of a close community is part of that. So I appreciate coming back to church. I'm sorry I stayed away for a few years, but I came a long time ago. I became a member in 2011. And with COVID and Michael Brown retiring, I stayed away for a while, but I'm glad I'm back. And I appreciate this community, appreciate this church. So another practical way we can build the new world is sharing resources and helping each other. If things get more difficult, not saying that they will, but if things get more difficult economically, especially, or environmentally, sharing resources. One example is there's a nonprofit in town that members pay a monthly fee to help each other. And then when somebody has a large medical expense, then all those fees that people have paid in, the person that has the medical expense is able to draw on that and ask for help. So that's one practical way. A simple way would be, unlike the rummage sale we just had, but having a drop-off place for children's clothes. So your kids outgrow clothes, bring them, make sure they're clean, but bring them to the drop-off place. And then exchange them, have other people able to take them home and have their kids wear them. It's just, and another practical example was, I had a lot of things to move out of my parents' home when they passed away and trying to get it ready to sell. And some other guys from another spiritual group, 3 guys came with trucks and helped me move things because I had more than a house full of stuff. I still have a bunch of stuff. So again, being there for each other, helping each other, and this church does that well, but continuing to do that, continuing to think about how we can do that. So then, how can we share these principles in our church and create more community? So how can we create a closer community with each other and reaching out to the community as a whole in Peoria, Central Illinois, as a part of that? So I've had the idea of creating a 501c3 nonprofit, excuse me, and creating small groups like this in other places. I have a very, very basic website I threw together quickly, and it's up at createnewhorizons.org. So eventually I'd like to have these principles go out, again, to make positive change, to be better connected with spirit, to be better connected with ourselves, be better connected with the earth, and better connected with each other. Thank you.
I'd like to invite Dave Grebner for a reading.
This is a poem I wrote several months ago. Some days. Some days I want to be the robin, free to fly away on a warm breeze. Some days I want to be the white oak, sturdy and rooted for centuries. Some days I want to be the beach, feeling the ocean waves caress. Some days I want to be someone's sun, shining love into their heart. Some days I want to be a star, twinkling light into the dark night. Some days I want to be the river, flowing back to Mother Sea. Some days I want to be the robin's egg, ready to hatch and begin again. Thank you. Robin.
Now, if you would all rise in body or spirit, we will be singing Winds of Change by Bernice Martin.
I want to say something real quick. I guess I'm not. Well, the music for today comes from YouTube channel that I found online, and it's two ladies that write these songs, and one of them is in a UU congregation out east. But the first video that the first song we sang, the video that came with it, they're sitting inside a redwood tree singing it. But the purpose, they say, of these songs is for congregations to sing and share. So.
As we near the conclusion, please be seated. As we near the conclusion of today's service, let us now speak gratitude to the divine in its many forms for allowing us the gift of this day. Dear ancestors, Holy Revealer, Great Father, Sacred Mother, by all of your names, we thank you for the blessings you may bestow, for joining us today and filling our hearts with your presence. May there be peace and love between us always. So mote it be. As we now release the quarters, all are again invited to echo back with closing words, "Be with us always." Spirit of the North, we thank you for your gifts of stability and of nourishment. Be with us always. Spirit of the West, we thank you for your gifts of cleansing and emotional connection. Be with us always. Spirit of the South, thank you for your gifts of passion and transformation. Be with us always. Spirit of the East, we thank you for your gifts of intellect and clear perception. Be with us always. So we say it, so it is, and so mote it be. And now for our closing hymn, Gather Together by Heather Pearson. If you would please rise in body or spirit one final time.
This are in an insert in your order of service.
When we gather together, we can make anything possible. Just open your heart and see. When we gather together, we can make anything possible. Just open your heart and see. Let's gather together. Let's make it all possible. Let's build the world we want to see. Let's gather together. Let's make it all possible. Let's build the world we want to see. Gather together. Gather together. Gather together. Gather together. When we gather together, we can make anything possible. Just open your heart and see. When we gather together, we can make anything possible. Just open your heart and see. Let's gather together. Let's make it all possible. Let's build the world we want to see. Let's gather together. Let's make it all possible. Let's build the world we want to see. Gather together. Gather together. Gather together. Gather together.
And now I invite Kathy McNeil to extinguish our chalice.
This reading is by Frederick E. Gillis. Spirit of community in which we share and find strength and common purpose. We turn our minds and hearts toward one another, seeking to bring into our circle of concern all who need our love and support, those who are ill, those who are in pain, either in body or in spirit, those who are lonely, those who have been wronged. We are part of a web of life that makes us one with all humanity, one with all the universe. We are grateful for the miracle of consciousness that we share, the consciousness that gives us the power to remember, to love, to care.
I'll just do the closing words, the benediction from up here. Now, as we go out into the world, let us continue to live in harmony with the earth, live in harmony with all of our fellow inhabitants, human, plant, and animal. Ask and listen to receive help, healing, and guidance directly from Spirit. Continue to build community and create positive change in our church, in our local area. Our worship has ended. Let us service begin.